hey, hey, hey.
What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Tech Savvy. Hey, I'm getting ready to install the Rollin light sets on my DEATHSTROKE Polaris Slingshot. It's a pre-install that you have to do. I'm gonna try to go over it right quick. This is not a step-by-step instructional video. It's just giving you a heads up of a pre-install that you have to accomplish before you go any further of trying to install the Rollin light set on a Slingshot. Most people who have tried to install these the Rollin light set LEDs on the Slingshot were having a lot of issues dealing with the wiring harness itself. Make a long story short, these Slingshots, along with the newer model Gold Wings, if you try to tap into the wiring harness directly, the bike is going to recognize the connection as a shortage, and it start giving you a lot of error messages saying a whole lot of stuff is wrong with your equipment or with your ride, no matter if it's a Slingshot or a Gold Wing. So what I'm going to show you is the best method I found to bypass all the electrical connections that you would have issues with by simply installing a wiring harness. And I'll go over it for you here in a second. Your pre-install for the Slingshot. The pre-install for the Slingshot, the first thing you have to do, of course, is remove your rear panel. Once you remove the rear panel, you have to install the Polaris Slingshot sub harness. It's made by electrical connection. Like I said, you can look up both of those instructional videos. There's plenty out there showing exactly how to do a rear panel removal and installation of that wiring harness. But most people who have installed that wiring harness use it for a trailer that's going to be connected to the Slingshot. However, that same harness can be used as a connection for your Rollin controllers that also use those same wiring connections for your left, your right, your brake light, your tail light, your service light. So what I want to do is go over exactly what needs to take place. Okay, on my Slingshot, as you can see, I have taken it apart. Excuse my voice. I have taken it back apart again. Like I said, this is not an instructional video on how to take the rear panel off. If you're looking for an instructional video on how to take it off, simply look up Polaris Slingshot rear panel removal on YouTube. There are several videos out there dealing with an older model Slingshot on removing the panel. The only difference I saw in their videos and a 2022 Slingshot model, The only difference I saw is on the side panel, you have 4 different connections instead of 2 on an older model. You have 4 connections on the side panel that you have to take off in order to get the side panels off. Other than that, everything else was dead on, was exact. So I'm not the type of person who like to try to reinvent the wheel. If there's a good video out there talking about it, then hey, I'll be more than willing to tell you, hey, go to that video and check it out. They did a good job on it. Alright, the second part is the electrical connection isolator sub-harness kit. It's right here. If you saw my thumbnail, that was the whole setup, or that was each component that's listed in that sub-harness, wiring harness, and it's made by Electrical Connection. This sub-harness is part 2 of the parts that you would need from Electrical Connection for the Rollin eyes. As I went over on my last video, I told you all about the dual battery connection. Here's my dual battery connection. For my first install, I told you all about the electrical connection fuse block, which is here. Alright, so far you would definitely need electrical connection fuse block, and now you would need the electrical connection sub harness isolator that goes in the rear panel, under the rear panel for the Polaris Slingshot. Alright, these 2 items are a must in order to get the Polaris Slingshot to run correctly without error messages or any type of electrical faults, without that will cause those type of error messages. You gotta have these 2 components. So I highly recommend my Eaglemart friend Tom Sawyer, who is the Rollin eyes manufacturer. You might want to start looking at electrical connections. Mr. Lewis Preston, the owner of Electrical Connection, you might want to get with him and start sending or getting a request for his components, for you to be able to have your lights installed on other vehicles beside the Gold Wing. So I'm trying to connect you 2 together to let you know, Rollin eyes, you need electrical connections components in order to install your lights on any other equipment besides the Honda Gold Wing. So I'm hoping that I successfully hooked you guys up to let y'all do your own thing. Okay? Now, the big thing about the electrical connection Polaris isolator sub harness is it comes in several components. I have already installed them. Like I said, I'm not trying to create a video on how to install it. If you're looking for the Polaris sub harness trailer wire connection, just simply look it up on YouTube. I watched that video also, and the only difference I saw in his video versus what I had to do, and plus electrical connection comes with its own instructional sheet that you can download from their website on this particular product. Polaris Slingshot Isolator Sub Harness Kit. According to these instructions, the only difference that I saw, that I came across, that was not mentioned in his instructions, was you had a ground wire coming off this cube right here that wasn't mentioned about grounding it, but that picture itself showed that it was grounded, but there was no text or no reading saying that you had to ground it. But like I said, the picture did show it. I'll go over each one of these components right quick to show you exactly what they are. It's a real simple installation. It's not hard at all. In fact, the hardest thing to do with these two is actually removing the panel off the slingshot. Alright, so you got your tail light sub harness, which is this part here going to the tail light for both sides. Okay, you have your 4-pin connection, which is here. I have, like I said, I have already connected everything. You got your cannabis module. I call it a cube, but it's the cannabis module right here. It is connected. And you got your isolator, of course, which is here. According to electrical connections instruction sheet, everything was dead on, but like I said, this was the only issue that I saw was off of this cube module here. It doesn't say that it has to be grounded, but the image or the picture shows that it was grounded. It's a very simple installation. I would feel very stupid trying to go over it and explain it to you when the instruction sheet does it the best. The whole installation for the wire harness maybe took me 15 minutes. It's a simple plug and play to your original wiring harness going from your lights. Just follow the instructions. It's too simple. And once you're done, just simply tie it all back up together. Make it look nice and pretty and professional. If any wiring you had to run, make sure that you loom it to give it that professional look. But other than that, the only thing remaining after you complete the whole connection for this sub harness and isolator, you're gonna have some wires. Okay, these wires are the wires that will connect to your trailer. I just got them hung down here to get them out the way. But you got your white wire, which is ground. You got your green light, that's going to be your your tail lights, and then yellow, brown, and blue is going to be, of course, your right signal light, your left signal light, and your brake light. These are the same wiring that you would need to plug up to your connections to the Rollin Eyes controller, and I'll go over that when I get ready to install it. But for meanwhile, make sure that you put this in an area where you can easily access it. I'm gonna loom this up and then tuck it up in here when I put my rear panel back on, so once I'm ready to install my lights, I can remove that rear deck and get access to these wiring. Now for me, I'll probably end up putting my controllers for my Rollin Eyes light set in my saddlebags. Alright, right now that's my plan. I have some saddlebags coming in, which I think are in now. I just have to go get them. But this wiring will be going to the backside of my saddlebags, which inside the saddlebags will be 4 controllers running my Rollin Eyes. Or I will have this wiring going all the way up to the front, and I'm replacing these fenders here with storage fenders, and my controllers will be in there. I haven't decided which way I want to go with it yet. I won't know until I have my saddlebags and my storage, fender storage, installed on which way I want to go with it. But other than that, I have just gave you the key to actually installing the Rollin Eyes light set on a Polaris Slingshot and having it run correctly without causing wiring electrical issues with the Polaris Slingshot wiring. So stay tuned as I get ready to install my rolling eyes. I'll probably start out with my wheels and then go from there, front to back. But as long as you get this out the way, everything else that I do will be step by step, because I know not many people are using the rolling eyes and they want to see me go through it. But everything else, as far as starting you out, it's the regular stuff that all other Slingshot owners probably have already been doing, especially if they're using a trailer. Follow those instructions for the information I gave you on what you need. Removing the rear panel, look it up on YouTube. Installing the electrical wiring connection for the trailer by electrical connection, look it up on YouTube. There's several videos out there. Other than that, I'm going to put this back together, and once I'm ready to start installing my rolling eyes light set, then I would do step-by-step instructional videos on what I'm doing. Hopefully you'll follow and we go from there. Other than that, it's hot. That's my spiel for the day. Y'all enjoy your weekend. That's my spiel for the day. Have a good one. GoPro, stop recording.
Hey, 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 hey.